Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zhang, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok, and feel free to text or leave me a voicemail at 702-551-4445. On with the show. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the show. I really do believe plant-based food is as important as ever when you look at what's going on with the world, from the environment to farming to soaring food prices. If one person just ate one plant-based meal a day for a year, you'd save almost 200,000 gallons of water. That's 11,400 showers, and the pollution equivalent to about 3,000 miles driven in your car, which is close to driving from LA to New York City. Super excited to welcome Diana Edelman to the show. She's the founder of Vegans Baby, a business dedicated to making vegans' life easier and vegan dining more approachable. She's a leader in the plant-based movement and an influential figure in the culinary scene in Las Vegas, where she travels to every couple months, and her new home is New York City. Her expertise has led to an ongoing partnership with the renowned James Beard Foundation, where she's responsible for curating chef-driven plant-based dinners at the famous James Beard House. She's also curated the Farm Stand, the vegan activation at Las Vegas's Life is Beautiful in 2019 and 2021. That was actually one of the big aha moments for me, being there in 2019, seeing so many people flock to that area throughout the entire weekend. She has also created the city's annual Vegan Dining Month in partnership with Veganuary, and launched its expansion into San Diego and Portland and markets in 2020 and New York City next year, 2023. Most importantly, I feel like she's a great representation of someone who stands up for what she believes in through determination and perseverance. And while veganism is her vehicle, I feel like her experience through social media and the real world is a great example of someone that's just overcome a lot of obstacles. Diana has been featured everywhere, and we're super excited to have her here with 27K on IG, 9,700 on Facebook, and 4,500 on TikTok at the Diana Edelman. Let's welcome Vegans Baby to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
What brought you out to Vegas for this trip?
I come every couple of months to make sure I'm staying on top of all the dining things going on in the city, catch up with all my friends, and to go to the dentist.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. So how did Vegans Baby start initially?
So Vegans Baby started, I was returning back to Vegas after living abroad for a few years, working in animal rescue in Thailand. I was vegetarian, and I was looking to come back to Vegas, and I was with my friend in Spain, and she was vegan at the time, and she was like, "You're a hypocrite, basically. You worked in animal rights, you are a vegetarian, but you know what goes on, and you're not vegan, so I don't get it." And I was like, "You're right." So we talked about it, and I said, "Okay, I'll move back to Vegas, and I'm going to go vegan." And I pulled out my phone to look and see about the vegan options in Vegas, and there weren't that many. And there's a popular app called Happy Cow that you can travel around the world and find vegan options wherever you are, and it was nothing really on there either. So my background at that point was PR and travel blogging. And so basically her and I talked about it, and she was like, "This is what you're going to do." It was actually her idea, because I didn't know what I was going to do when I came back here, but I knew I wanted to go vegan. And so the idea came about that basically I was going to show everybody the vegan food, because the biggest thing that kept me from going vegan in those years that I was vegetarian was the idea of giving up eggs and pizza and things like that. And so I just thought it would be so hard and that there wouldn't be options. And so I came back to Vegas, launched Vegans Baby, and just set out to find vegan options around the city. And that's how it started.
And what year was that when you started?
I moved back here at the end of 2015, and Vegans Baby officially launched May 2016.
Okay. So did you grow up in Vegas, or did you go to Thailand and come back? Or did you...
I grew up in Maryland, but moved to Vegas in 2005 and was on and off here. Moving back in 2015 was my third time. So Vegas is I don't say I grew up here, but I as a human being, I definitely adulted here.
Right. And then you said you were primarily in PR?
Yep, PR for mostly restaurants.
Okay. Any ones you care to?
Yeah, they're no longer. I opened Morel's Steakhouse and then became their director of communications and PR. Was Morel's Divino and Dragon Noodle back in 2010 was when I was with them. But my office was in the back of Monte Carlo. Yep.
Oh wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, for many, I think there are three categories people go into veganism for, whether it's environment or animal cruelty or health. Mm-hmm. And honestly, price, tech, and making it taste the same for the general public is really, how it's easily accessible now. Yeah. People are I think, are admittedly way too detached from where and how the food gets to them. And I admit I'm a hypocrite as well. And I think a lot of people are interested in listening to you. Will say it's ridiculous that I'm talking to you about this stuff. But to me, Las Vegas plant-based food in Vegas has never been better. Yeah. Yeah.
It's grown a lot. Even when I moved here, when I came back in 2016, we had, I think, 4 or 5 vegan restaurants, and now we have more than 20. So it's a testament to the growth of not necessarily veganism, but plant-based dining, I think, has really taken off. But then in the vegan world as well, we've had the pandemic, we see full-on the effects of climate change, and all of these things can be slowed by changing your diet and removing animal products from your diet. And then obviously health now with the pandemic and all of those things, it's become very popular in terms of like a health movement as well by going plant-based. So those three things speak perfectly.
Yeah, so let's go back to 2015. You kind of had to rally businesses.
Yeah, there weren't that many. Yeah, I remember going in and like meeting a couple vegan restaurants, talking to them, and just saying this is what I was doing. And then really, one of the first restaurants, I think, when I came back here, like Croissants and Slice of Vegas were probably the two most vegan-friendly restaurants on the Strip. They had the vegan menus, which was wonderful, but the Strip was definitely. That was it. You're going to get like a salad or a side. And the steakhouses had vegan options. Well, that was really all there was. And then Makers and Finders actually was one of the first restaurants I worked with because they had launched, they come out with like a vegan vegetarian menu. And I remember looking at it and some of the things weren't labeled correctly. And I reached out to Josh, the owner, and I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know, I'm happy to talk to you about it or whatever. And that just became the start of me going into restaurants and talking to restaurants and encouraging them to add vegan options. So when Makers and Finders officially launched their vegan menu, like we had an event together. And so that was basically the start of it. And how I would just approach all the restaurants was just to kind of be like, hey, if you want to be on my site or be featured, you have to have 3 specific vegan options, and they can't be salads or sides. And so, yeah, that was the beginning days.
Yeah, so you were just knocking on the door all the time, meeting after meeting after meeting. What kind of grind was that to meet with owners?
It's a grind, and it's frustrating because it's something especially after just coming back from working at Elephant Rescue in Thailand and just seeing so much that I saw firsthand and having people be like, no. And like doors not slammed in your face, but slammed in your face, and having people come after me on like Instagram, like vegan, and you get it all the time. So it was definitely like, it was an uphill battle. And obviously at that point, like it was just something I was doing. Like, you don't start a website and have money come in. It was all just passion, like paying for it out of my pocket. Everything was just out of my pocket. So it's a lot of work. And, at times it got really frustrating because there's just a lot more no's than there were yeses at that point. So it took a lot to start it.
Yeah, all the respect. With plant-based options being better than ever, I personally try to do at least one plant-based meal a day.
That's awesome.
Often when I have a full day off, I'm totally fine just doing a vegan thing. Thank you, Tacotarian.
Yes.
And when I was a concierge way back when I had a regular job, there were a lot of vegans. I came to Vegas and would set up their own personal vegan food tour. Yeah. Because there's so many places to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are some of your favorites in Vegas now, these days? I know you went to a really awesome pizza place yesterday.
Oh, Gorilla?
Yeah.
Gorilla Pizza is my favorite. I'm like a pizza lover. Like before I went vegan, like I could never imagine not having pizza. And that was literally like such a roadblock for me. Like the cognitive dissonance on the pizza was like I was like, I don't want to know because I love pizza so much. But Gorilla Pizza is definitely my hands down best pizza I've ever had.
Wow. Okay. I'm ready
Other
to go.
musts. I just had lunch at Good Morning Kitchen, and that is a decadent spot. Tacotarian, Barry's Downtown Prime is fantastic. EDO. I mean, there's quite a few pots, but she just closed, which was just heartbreaking for me.
Yeah, I saw that.
Such good food. So those
really
are the
tough.
ones like when I come to town, like you will find me at those places, as well as trying new places. But I will always go there.
And what do you think about Crossroads opening in Vegas, which is crazy?
It's amazing because
Yeah.
I've been saying for the longest time that Vegas really needs some higher end vegan dining experiences because most of the vegan spots we have are more fast casual. So having like a white tablecloth, fine dining establishment at like the newest resort in town it's a fantastic win for it is a fantastic win for Resorts World, and it's great for the locals and then people coming in because Vegas is becoming one of the hottest spots for vegan and vegetarian food. Like we come out every year as like named one of the top 10 in the nation, and it just gets better every year. So having Crossroads was just like huge win.
Yeah, I've been 3 times and super impressed with the menu. And it doesn't even feel like vegan food, just good food.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah,
and that's
you
the
wouldn't
thing.
know.
I think it's just that what holds people back is the idea that they're not going to like it, or that it's just not going to. It's not going to be the same. Like I've had friends I'm like, do you want to try this? Well, I don't think I'd like vegan food. I'm like, literally half your plate is vegan. Like you have French fries and a salad and fruit and vegetables. Like the only thing that's not vegan on your plate is the piece of meat. And there are so many amazing replications now for that you could have that whole plate. Oh, that whole plate could be vegan, and you'd be none the wiser.
Yeah. I saw you posted something about vegan Korean barbecue in New York. Did I?
Korean barbecue. Oh no, that was here.
Oh, that was here.
Well, not Korean barbecue, like an experience, but Gray's Kitchen has
okay.
Korean barbecue nachos. They're sick. They're so good. They're amazing. You know what? I will bring you some next time I'm in town.
Okay.
They're so good.
All right, I'm down. I used to run Veganation Instagram for over a year.
Did you?
Prior to lockdown. Yeah, I didn't make it a known thing.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Which was a very interesting opportunity because it opened my eyes to a lot through Chef Donald,
Yeah.
the staff, and even the audience.
Yeah.
The DMs I would get and the passion that people have for plant-based eating and just the environment overall was something that was very overwhelming to me. Because through Chef Donald, I did educate myself more on plant-based food, like watching Game Changers, which is a great movie on Netflix, which debunks a lot of myths about not getting enough protein. People would just be vegan for, like firefighters would go vegan for a week, and the blood pressure readings on people going plant-based for as little as a week were pretty profound.
Yeah.
How do you, are there still hurdles now? Is it still an uphill climb for you?
I think there's always going to be that level of something that isn't mainstream where it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, just because there are so many preconceived notions, stereotypes, and misconceptions about being vegan, a vegan diet, and vegans in general. I think there's just, there are so many people in the vegan movement that are all very different, and their activism is very different. So for me, my activism is through food. For others, it's staging protests. It's going to vigils. So I think in terms of acceptance, like some things are more easily accepted than others. Like me telling you, here, have this bite of food is one way to get you to go vegan, whereas me sharing photos with you of something that is just horrifically sad probably won't open you up the same way. And then there's always like these ongoing debates in the vegan community itself where, we kind of people get on each other when we're all on the same team, but there's the internal conversations about, well, are KFC's Beyond Nuggets vegan if they're cooked in the same oil? So it's a struggle that I think the vegan community, we don't necessarily do ourselves any favors, and then the non-vegan community sees that and takes it and it's like, cool, well, you've just shown me like I'm good. I'm good, So I think, yeah, it's still an uphill battle. And, with any movement, there's always going to be people with very differing opinions, which is welcome and wonderful to have. But it is hard when there are so many strong personalities with very, very strong beliefs and vegan for very different reasons. for people, like for other people to see that, it can kind of be more of a struggle to like get other people to go vegan because of it.
Right. I see that for sure. Thoughts on faux proteins out there now? Any favorites?
Man, there are some good ones.
Yeah.
Like Impossible Burgers, like they're
Over
good.
Beyond?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Smash Me Baby. I know they use Impossible. That's a bomb burger. Underground Burgers uses Impossible. Amazing. Gardein, their chicken. You can get that. Crossroads Chicken and Waffles is the Gardein.
Yep. And Whole Foods has it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's like some new bacons on the market now that are incredible. There's that Umaro bacon that's being used at Crossroads, and it's made of seaweed. I mean, the mock meats on the market right now are just amazing, and there's just going to be more that are coming. Like Omni's got a Spam now, just really cool stuff that would, if I were to just do a blind taste test with you, I don't think you would know the difference. Like I haven't had meat for a really long time,
Right.
but like when I have some of these things, I'm like, oh, wait a second, like, are you sure you just gave me something vegan type of thing?
Right.
So there's some great new products out there.
Yeah. And then I also saw you recently did a post on veg.
Yeah, the powdered
and that
egg.
looked great. Yep.
Yeah.
And Just Egg is solid.
Oh,
as
Just
well.
Egg is hands down. They're fantastic. They're folded egg. You put a little black salt on it. So good.
Right. So talk to me about we're coming up a few months away from January.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the origin of Veganuary and how you became.
So,
with that.
Veganuary is an international movement started by a UK organization challenging people to go vegan for the month. And so you sign up, and throughout the month, they give you recipes and encouragement. Celebrities get on board. And so the whole idea is like, just try this. Like, we're not going to shove it down your throats, but you have dry November, vegan January, go vegan. And so I think it was 2017, I was driving around and it was restaurant week, and there were no vegan options for restaurant week. And it was really frustrating because obviously I would love to be able to go support it or do something and be a part of an event like that. And I was just like, all right, I'm just going to start one. And so I figured a week wouldn't be enough time, because if I had restaurants do it, they would cannibalize each other because people wouldn't have enough time to go to all of them. And at that point, the community here still, like, it was big, but it wasn't where it is today. And so I was like, I'm just going to do a month. And so I launched Vegan Dining Month. I think January 2018 had maybe almost 20 restaurants, but Border Grill did it, Slice of Vegas, Husong's. So I had strip presidents, I had off-strip, Whole Foods markets did it. So that was the start of it. And since then, like, it's grown every year. In 2019, I brought in Portland and San Diego. The pandemic messes up all of my years. Yeah, 2020, I brought in Portland and San Diego.
Yep.
2021 was, no, I can't keep track. Yeah, no.
According to the bio,
I can't.
2020 with the two
My
cities, and
math.
2023 in New York for New York City.
Okay, yeah. 2021 was the bad year. 2021 was just Vegas. 2022 was Vegas and Portland, and now 2023 will be Vegas, Portland, and I just brought in New York City. So just starting the signups in New York City right now, but Vegas right now for 2023, we have about 20 restaurants so far. We have about 15 in Portland signed up so far. So I'm really excited.
You make it sound so casual when you say you put all this together, but to me, it seems like just such an amazing accomplishment to get all these businesses to rally around this.
It was it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do you
have a team, or is it just you?
It's me. I had one amazing friend who was working with me. Her name was Catherine Grassfed Cat. She helped me, I think, 1 year, just helping me just get it all up on the website and schedule posts and everything, because back then every restaurant had a full Instagram post and everything, and it's so much work when you're posting so much content and then you still have to do everything else. So she was helping me, and then for the other cities, so for Portland, I actually partner with an account called Portland's Vegan Bunny, and so she does the outreach in Portland, and so it's a Vegans Baby event brought to you by Portland Vegans. So it's a partnership there, and then New York, again, it's just me. I do have someone helping me a little bit in New York right now, New York vegan foodie, but yeah, it's mostly just me.
Amazing.
Doing everything. Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk about the account for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, really, for me, there's no place better than yours to know about everything vegan eats in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
I also like the What Vegans Eat video series that you do on TikTok to show closed-minded people that it's not just all carrots and hummus.
Yeah.
And then the move to NYC was a big thing. I mean, just
Yeah.
personally and professionally. How did the wheels get moving on that, and when did you finally just say, I'm going?
The wheels got moving. So I had 2 James Beard dinners in 2019 where I brought chefs to New York from here. And I really I loved the vibrancy of the city. It felt to me, with someone who's traveled so much of my life and has a very strong travel writing background, no matter where I was in the city, I felt like I was traveling somewhere and it felt like a new adventure. And I loved that. And then I went back the week New York declared a state of emergency, so right when the pandemic first started, and I was sitting on the roof with my friend of her. It was her Brooklyn building, and we were just sitting on the roof, and I was like, I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a couple years, but I'm gonna move here. And then obviously the world shut down, and so during that time, I realized that I was still doing all of my work, but obviously I wasn't going out to eat. And I was like, well, I can still do everything, and I don't have to be physically here every second of the day to do it. And I could also do what I'm doing here and go to New York and do it. And I can do it in other cities too. So I just kind of convinced myself that I could just do everything that I was doing here and also start to do that in New York. And so summer last year, after everything started to open up more and travel started again, the rents in New York, which were amazing COVID deals at the time, started to go back up.
Yep.
And I knew I was going to be priced out very quickly. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I flew to New York in May and I flew to New York in June, found an apartment, and was like, okay, I'm just going to do it and I'll figure everything else out as we go. And so I did.
Amazing.
It was terrifying.
I bet, because a lot of people in social media with a big following would hesitate to move somewhere
Yeah.
else because of what they've built.
Yeah.
But then again, life is short. New York City is an amazing place to live. I lived there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I always recommend people that live there, that people do live there for at least a few years for
Yeah.
life experience. So, it changed my life. I'm sure it's already changed
It's
yours.
amazing, and it was a really hard decision to make because Vegas really is home, and my relationships are here. I know everybody here. The restaurant community here has been so amazing and so supportive, and some of my closest friends are chefs here, and people like Lindsay, and it's just been such a. This is home. And so to leave home was something that was a really hard thing for me to do. But I also knew that I wanted to continue to grow and expand, and I wouldn't be able to give myself those opportunities unless I was there. And I also, at the same time, my family lives about 4 hours south of New York, and I really, really wanted to be closer to my family. It's a 2-hour train trip and a 2-hour drive now versus a cross-country flight, and not I can get home in a day if I needed to. So that was important to me too, was just to be closer to my folks. And so there's not a day that goes by that I don't miss Las Vegas, but there's also not a day that goes by where I don't wake up just so happy to be where I am.
Very cool. Despite food social media being bigger than ever, I still feel like there's a lack of vegan accounts. Not just in Vegas, but maybe around. Is that the same in New York?
There's quite a few vegan accounts in New York.
Okay.
They're slowly growing. There's a couple pretty big New York accounts, but when we're talking vegan New York accounts, they're under 60,000 followers. So there's no you or Las Vegas foodie in the vegan world doing what we do.
Right. Why is that?
I think because it's just not there yet. I think there's just not enough of an audience yet for it. Over the year, in the next few years, I think that will continue to change. But just in terms of getting that audience, it's so much more niche than there's a vegan pizza account that I love, super niche, and I haven't looked to see how many followers he has. But I think it's just the nicher you are, the harder it is to get followers. And vegan dining is pretty. It's definitely not as broad as just being a foodie, which would be amazing. I would be so happy if I could have 150,000 followers. That'd be wonderful, And there's definitely an opportunity for it, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
But I see it firsthand when you post a place. The reaction on social, especially for Vegas, is instant.
Yeah.
And the people that come in, it's a whole. For a lot of restaurants, it's a different kind of audience that comes in.
Yeah.
That orders. So there's no one else I'd rather follow about plant-based stuff than you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That means so much to me.
I remember trying to put together a social media event for just vegans, and I couldn't even muster up very many. I mean, here in town with over
What event?
K. It was a Veganation event.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think for like small, like restaurant events too, I think it's tough.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've done a few here, and it's got to have like, you know, like I did Tacotarian's grand opening in downtown, and then Firefly launched a vegan menu. So it's hard. It's harder to get to bring in an audience for sure.
Yeah, and plus I think those influencers would be terrified if I was inviting them to something based on my posts.
I mean, I guess because I know you, I wouldn't be, but I get it. Yeah.
Right. I think ethically, maybe some people would be kind of whatever. But along with being the authority on plant-based eats and all you do on social, there's also way more going on. You have the Las Vegas Vegan Dining Guide.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How did that come?
Kind of like the way all the other things came. I was just like, oh, there's not something here, I'm gonna do it. So I think I launched it right around the same time as Vegan Dining Month, like within that year, because I get asked all the time, best, and it's just like, I'm just like, you know what? Here's a link. You can download the book or get a copy of it on Amazon in like a hard copy if you would like. So basically, it was just a guide. It started on my website, and then it was pretty comprehensive. I was like, I'm gonna make this into a book, and so I did, and then I expanded it. So now I think I haven't started 2023 yet. I'm starting it this month, but last year I think it was 40 something categories. So like best tacos, date night, gluten-free, so on and so on and so on. So every year it gets a little bigger.
That's amazing. And then you also do the Vegan Tour World Tours.
Yes.
Which is a huge undertaking. Europe, South Africa, Thailand. How did that start?
It actually started in Las Vegas first. You're going to notice, I think I was with my friend one day. He's like, you should do vegan food tours here. There aren't any. And I was like, you're right. So I did.
Yeah, Arts District was one of them.
Yep, it
right?
was. So it started actually, it was Fremont. And that actually was named Travel and Leisure's top 9 vegan food tours in the world in 2019, just before the pandemic. Everything was such smooth sailing just before the pandemic. And then it was like, boom. So I had that. And then I did 2020, just before the pandemic. We did a Booze and Bites tour through the Arts District to coincide with Vegan Dining Month. I also did a downtown vegan pizza tour. So I did all of those. And then the international tour started. An old friend of mine was talking about doing them, and we both lived in Thailand, and she's like, do you want to do it with me? And I said, okay. So we did a sold-out tour to Thailand, October 2019. And then I was doing one to Madrid, June 2020, and obviously we know what happened there. And April 2020 was going to be another Thailand tour, and that didn't happen either. So basically all the tours shut down, and then as the world started to open up last year, a friend of mine connected me with Alluring Africa. She was doing their PR, and so we talked, and they are a luxury sustainable travel outfitter that does Africa tours. And so we talked and decided, they asked me to be their vegan tour curator. And so we went to South Africa together last October, and I handpicked everything on the tour, like all the places we were going to eat and things like that. Made sure that every place we go was like ethical, and the safari was ethical, because obviously like safaris have so many bad things you can find, like if you don't do research on safaris. So we put up for sale a 10-day Cape Town tour with 3 night safari, and did that in June. And then 2023, it looks like we're going to be doing Morocco, South Africa, and Botswana.
Wow.
So we haven't finalized everything yet. And then I'm supposed to be working with Korea to do one. There's a lot like down the line, but it's just not like planned out enough to really like I don't have anything else to share about it, unfortunately.
Right.
Like that's it. That's just the little teaser I've got.
Well, those are super exciting plans.
I am excited. I love South Africa, especially. Like Cape Town is such a magnificent city for vegan dining. It's incredible. And then the the game reserve we work with is just phenomenal.
Wow. And then has it been repeat customers, or is it always new?
It's new. Everyone so far, like I've had people that have been on my food tours here that then came with me to Thailand. But the South Africa tour was all people that I did not know personally or hadn't been on one of my tours before. But they were all people that followed me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, go to vegansbaby.com if you're interested in doing a vegan food tour. I mean, it sounds amazing.
I love them.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas tours are on hold for
Okay.
a long time.
Okay.
I'm still figuring out what to do with those.
And not only are you doing this, you also write
Yes.
as well. The Veg News.
Veg News.
Veg News just came out with the holiday food issue, and there's a whole breakdown here of a lot of the great eats in Vegas. Number one being Crossroads.
Yes.
I see the berries dessert. I've seen that several times. I've had
it's
that.
so good.
It is really good. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, Veg News is a great resource.
It's it's like the biggest vegan magazine there is in the States.
Yeah.
So it's an honor to be able to write for them because I've written for them a couple of times now.
Awesome. We're about to wrap it up. I'm going to go into 10 questions. Diana, what's your favorite current borough in New York City?
Manhattan.
Okay.
No, Brooklyn. Sorry, I had to change it. Brooklyn.
Where are you living now?
East Village, but I
East
love
Village?
Brooklyn. I love
Nice.
like Williamsburg and Greenpoint. Love.
Very cool. Okay.
That's a tough one.
I know. I said current. It could be different tomorrow.
This is true.
Say you've got the best versions of each one in front of you. Which one are you going to first? Vegan pizza, taco, fried chicken, or ramen?
Pizza.
Okay. Yeah. Favorite album of all time?
No. Oh God. It's. I don't think I have one. I love them all. Okay, we're gonna kick it back old school. Madonna's "Like a Virgin."
Yeah. Got to give it for Madonna.
Yeah.
What country would you love to do a vegan tour that you haven't yet planned?
Japan.
Japan. Yeah.
I haven't even been to Japan, but I saw your stuff, and I've been wanting to
It
go
was
so
the best.
badly.
It was the
Japan.
best.
Yeah.
And Tokyo has actually had a lot of new plant-based places that have come up.
I really, really like. That's so high on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Does good vegan cheese exist?
Yes.
Okay.
Was that a yes or no question, or is there a part two to that?
No.
Oh.
I'm just because that was the toughest thing for me
Yeah.
because Daya sure ain't it for me.
There's some good ones like Miyoko's mozzarella. You can melt is really good. Violife. There's a lot of artisan cheeses for cheese plates and stuff nowadays that are phenomenal.
Okay. Virgin cheese, I think, is a local one, right? Yeah. You get to choose the Mount Rushmore fruits. So 4. Diana, name them.
No, I don't know any of them.
No, you get to choose.
Oh.
Sorry. Let's so you get to choose the Mount Rushmore fruits. You get 4 to choose from.
Like people.
No, the fruit, like a fruit hall of fame.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This is my
sorry.
brain. My 4 favorite fruits.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. I think
No, you can have I can look like a dumbass. It's fine. Okay, my 4 favorite fruits. My Mount Rushmore fruits
Yes.
are passion fruit, cantaloupe, watermelon. Okay, and then a pawpaw.
Pawpaw.
Pawpaw, it's new.
You know.
No, my brother brought it home. It's like grows in Western Maryland. You can't sell it in stores because it doesn't last. It's like an avocado. Like it's good for 15 minutes and it's done. But it's a green fruit. You can like mush it open. And it's got black seeds and you eat the fruit around the seeds and it's like a banana mango. It's very good. It's very good.
What?
Yeah. I know.
right.
You can't get
How
it
do
in
you spell
Vegas.
it?
I'm sorry.
Pawpaw?
P-A-W-P-A-W.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can't bring them here or I would because they're so good. You guys are just all going to have to come to Western Maryland.
Damn. Which celebrity, in your opinion, has been the best advocate for veganism?
Lizzo.
Lizzo, yeah. Lizzo's amazing. What's the question you wish people would stop asking you about being vegan?
Where do you get your protein?
Boom. Okay. Yeah. I bet that's super annoying.
Yeah.
So that about wraps it up. Diana, is there anything else you want to plug?
Go to vegansbaby.com for all the vegan food here in New York and around the world.
Yep.
And thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate
This was really
you.
fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Till next time. See you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Las Vegasville podcast. For more information about me and where I've been dining recently, check out my IG and TikTok at Las Vegasville. Feel free to text or leave me a voicemail about anything you want, 702-551-4445. Stay tuned as a new episode of the show debuts every Monday morning.